3 times. Or just if you feel like, just kind of be in the presence. Basically, generate as much love and kindness and gratitude and just kind of grounded presence as you can. You can even just pick one of those qualities. They're all extraordinary and they're just really natural. So we're really just kind of generating that quality or that field. And then we're actually connecting to beings who are like, have that fully brightened all the time. Like they're just always have love on and kindness and compassion on. And kind of also this intelligence to really be with the rhythm of life, of reality, like with such kind of delicate precision, such wisdom. So we're kind of trying to generate those natural qualities of our own right now. And we're kind of with kind of a deep curiosity, interested in like if there are other beings that are doing that same thing now, like trying to really kind of sync up with them and receive their guidance to like actually learn to like relax and rest and be in that way, kind of more brightly and more confidently. So that's basically kind of part of way of seeing this. But so, and this specifically is around the enlightened being Guru Padmasambhava, who brought Buddhism from India into Tibet. So page 14. Hong ho jin yu ji nu jan sam pe ma ge sa dum po lam ya zin yu gi nu du nin pe ma jun ne Jesu rang ko du ka tru ma be ko je ji Jesu dam du jin jin ji long sam pe ma ge sa dum po lam ya zin ju gi nu ru ning pe ma du ne Jesu rang ko du ga ro ma be ko je ji Jesu dam du jin jin ya zin ju gi nu ru ning pe ma du ne Jesu rang ko du ga tru ma be ko je ji Jesu dam du jin jin ji Page 17. The top line is the mantra of Guru Padmasambhava, so we'll recite that just a few times together. Om Ahum Ensang Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Om Ahum Ensang Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Om Ahum Ensang continuing page 20, prayers to lamas of the lineage. This is a list of all these lineage masters that have become enlightened using these teachings, kind of fully embodying them and becoming fully awakened. So we're kind of connecting to that like stream of uninterrupted kind of lineage. Samanta Bhadra, Bhadra Sattva, Pramana Bhadra, Sri Singha, Pamakara, the 25 king and subjects, So, Zur, Lub, Nyak, and the 100 Turtans and others, the lamas of the Kama and Terma lineages, to you I pray. In the past, you were the Vijayadhara, Nudan Dorje Tsal. In the future, you will be the Buddha Mopataye. Now you are the regent of Padmasambhava, the actual presence of Drukben Latsawa. Jigdral Yeshe Dorje, to you I pray. Happy with little, content and rich in jewels of the three trainings, with loving compassion, seeing all beings as parents. Through threefold realization, you made 3 doors, 3 vajras. Virtuous monk Pema Soltram, to you I pray. The supreme tradition of the glorious Buddha Padmasambhava, which is the essential, extraordinary view and doctrine of the early translation school, you keep alive and spread by the light of wisdom. Lord of Dharma, great Khenpo, I pray at your lotus feet. In the palace of the Ogmen Dharmadhatu, the essence of all the Buddhas of the 3 times, the one who shows clearly the Dharmakaya of my own mind, we pray to the Honorable Root Guru, glorious Root Teacher, precious one, dwelling on the lotus seat on the crown of my head, hold me with your great kindness and bestow the accomplishments of body, speech, and mind. Now I'll actually quickly flip to 76. This is Buddha Vajrasattva's mantra. It's the long mantra in the middle of the page, 7-6. And we'll just recite this 3 times. This is basically like kind of clearing away anything that's kind of preventing us from just being present right now. We're just kind of releasing it all to just so we can fully be with each other here right now. And we'll recite this mantra 3 times. It functions to kind of like open ourselves, open our hearts, open our minds. Homage to the Tathagata, glorious Vajrasattva. Om Bendra Sava Samaya Manu Balaya Bendra Sava Tenupa Tiju Dinu Mibawa Sudu Kayo Mibawa Subu Jayo Mibawa Anuratu Mibawa Siddhi Mibrayata Sawa Kama Susame Siddham Cheyang Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Benda Mame Munsa Bawa Maha Samaya Sadhu Om Bendra Sava Samaya Manu Balaya Bendra Sava Tenupa Tunu Mibawa Sudu Kayo Mibawa Subu Jayo Mibawa Anuratu Mibawa Sawa Siddhi Miprayasa Sawa Kama Susame Siddham Cheyang Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Mudza Bindri Bawa Maha Samaya Sadhu Om Bendra Sava Samaya Manu Balaya Sava Tenupa Tiju Dinu Mibawa Sudu Kayo Mibawa Subu Jayo Mibawa Anuratu Mibawa Siddhi Miprayasa Sawa Kama Susame Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Benza Mame Mudza Bindri Bawama Samaya Sadhu Om Bendra Sapa Hung 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 Amanda Zabahong, 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 Om Bendra Zabahong. Now going back to page 24, 2-4. This is offering mandala, and then also kind of requesting or connecting to the teachings of Dharma. So here, offering mandala, we're basically kind of like activating our belief and kind of our connection with like that things are actually so abundant. Like reality is just like overflowing with opportunity, including this moment, like our bodies working, our minds working, like all these things we have going in our favor. So we take basically everything that we can be grateful for, like throughout the inexhaustible universe of all the amazing things happening, and we offer that in honor of the natural goodness of each being. Like we're like celebrating each other's amazing quality of intelligence and goodness. So this is kind of like doing, in one way, a mandala offering. And then the second page, this requesting the turning the wheel of Dharma, is just like Dharma is just how reality functions when it aligns with itself in really wholesome flowing patterns. Like it's just a natural rhythm of like what resonates when like there's not something kind of like kinking up the system. Like how does it flow when it's balanced, you could say, very kind of generally. So here we're just kind of like anything that would help support that, like considered a teaching, like anything that would help kind of align that way of flowing, cause, condition, and effect, to be a little more kind of like, you know, resonantly full, or like kind of enriched and nutritious. That's kind of like we're like generating an interest to like connect with that way of being, like in ourselves and those around us and in the world we're a part of. So I'm trying to generally kind of orient some of this stuff. But anyway, so verse 24, so in English again. The earth anointed with perfumed water and strewn with flowers, Mount Meru and the 4 continents ornamented with sun and moon, by offering them visualized as a Buddha field, may all sentient beings enjoy the pure land. Idam Guru Ratnam Mandala Kam Niryatayami. According to the wishes of sentient beings and their capacities, for the high and low, common and uncommon vehicles, please turn the wheel of Dharma. Once again, thank you all. Thanks for being here. Yeah. So, big open invitation right now. Just be the Dharma. Be natural. Be yourself. Relax. It's all good. Like, that's the kind of key main insight the Buddha taught. Like, we already have everything we need. It's already there. It's in our awareness. It's in how we are. We're a part of this. We're a part of this nature. It's in us, it's around us, it's everything we've ever experienced has been a connection with naturalness. So like the big secret teaching is like, just be natural. Just recognize, like, be natural. So like, that's kind of like foundational belief and lived experience. For the great masters, they're like living that. And for like us, like me, just trying to follow, like this lost being, trying to like not be so lost. Like that's a key kind of belief or idea or framing. Like we already have this naturalness, this natural intelligence, this natural goodness, this talent, this amazing, inexhaustible creativity, this like connection with all these beings, all these pasts, all these potential, like how this can happen. We're already fully in it. We're embedded in it. We're a part of it. We can't not be a part of this reality thing happening. So like, give yourself a break. I say that for myself too. Just lighten up. It's okay. Doesn't have to be some big thing. Just really lighten up, relax. And then the whole thing is like, okay, so you relax for a minute, and then you just retighten, you know? Oh, I did this, and I'm wrong, and this, and what that person say, and it all just instantly relocks. It's like self-locking mechanism, you know? And this is just this habit. We've like just not trusted ourselves for so long now. Like it's just this tension, this like we're just not confident in just being able to just like be okay. This general okayness is like somehow like suspicious of it, and like we're not trusting of it. And so then we don't trust it in others, and then we create this like giant cultures and societies and stories of what we do when we don't trust ourselves and each other. And it's called the drama of samsara land, and all of its like brutal versions and boring ass versions, and just it's endless, you know, how much we can basically just like, you know, not be okay with what is happening. There's just so many ways to just like fight it, you know? So the topic for this kind of opening is really kind of around concepts. It's somewhat of a mini mission I have to like actually really kind of brightly, in my experience, and like whatever, as an offering, to be like, not all concepts are bad. Among a lot of Buddhists, like there's a lot of teachings on kind of conceptual mind, this kind of grasping mind is the fundamental root cause of suffering. There's a lot of teachings on this grasping, you know, constantly grasping, and basically what I just referred to is this like self-locking, this like always freeze framing and holding and trying to secure a position and like just be, you know, stable and, you know, at ease because it's not going to move, you know, just constantly like trying to lock things. And that's like the big culprit of like what this ignorance is. Like, I'm not flowing with it. Why? Because I like keep holding part of it and like prevent the flow, you know? So in the end, yes, we're trying to get natural, where we're always going with the flow. It's basically like living art. We're like trying to be where like our art is every single moment of what we're doing and connecting and breathing. And like there's beings that have done that. They're like the sublime supreme artists. Like they're called enlightened beings. Like everything they have is like a gorgeous, elegant, connective expression of like full on art happening. Like, and we're trying to get there. That's called a path. Like, because these habits to like not trust is so strong. And so then there's this distinction. What's a good habit? What's a bad habit? What's a bad concept? Good concept. Helpful concept? Not helpful concept. So in terms of a lot of Buddhist jargon, it's duality. We're trying to relax in non-dual wisdom awareness. Non-dual, not separately locking, as opposed to like always keeping this big gap of separation. I'm like, not that, I'm this. We're trying to get where it's like always this seamless, elegant, connective everything. But to get there, we need to really clearly discern what's a helpful way to hold something temporarily, and what's a not helpful way to hold something. What's a helpful concept? What's a not helpful concept? What's helpful duality? Good duality? What is not helpful duality? Bad duality. And Buddhism has a ton of teachings on this. Often it's talked about as like good duality is called virtue, merit. Bad duality is called a non-virtue, bad habits, bhakcha, bad habits. And then wisdom or naturalness, non-grasping awareness, is this wisdom, prajna, jhana, just this flowing naturalness. And so in the end, we're trying to just always be flowing, so non-grasping. But to get there, we need to really clearly distinguish, like, what's a helpful way to hold? What's a helpful way I need to hold things now? And what's a not helpful way? And always that means for me. But what's a habit that's helpful for me? And what's a habit that's not helpful for me? What's duality that I need to, I need to pay attention to this. In the end, I need to release this too. But right now, I need to make sure I don't, insert habit that's not helpful for Drakpa. There's a lot of habits, right? And so I thought from the beginning, because this is the mini mission. Oftentimes, we think all habits are bad, so I'm going to not put any attention on habits because what I need to get is be in free flow all the time. And it sounds good, but there's no practical way to get there. We just basically say all paths are habitual, any training programs, just habits, and so I don't need to train, I just need to be. And it sounds nice. If it was that easy, I would love it. it's just not. So then we need to discern for ourselves what's a helpful supportive structure for me now, and what's a not helpful one. And that changes over time and in different circumstances. So in Buddhism, the larger frame of this is called study. That's discerning like what's a helpful concept, what's a not helpful concept. And then practice is like not conceptually mapping. We're not like pointing to anything. We're being it. Like we're absorbing the meaning. We're living the experience as opposed to like describing what the experience would be like. And so we use like, how do you make the cake? Like what's the recipe? And then we actually make the cake. Like we need both. Like they need a study part, like what's the recipe? And then actually do the baking so you can actually taste for yourself and enjoy that, the actual result, which is more seen as practice, where we're kind of like in it. We are it. The meaning is happening as a lived experience as opposed to just being referred to or thought about or, contemplated in some way. And so, yeah, the power of beliefs is extraordinary. Beliefs really, really make a big difference. Concepts make a very, very big difference on the path. So it's nice to say go beyond belief. But like, if you really try to do a laundry list of every belief that you're assuming this moment, I mean, there's just so many beliefs. Like so many beliefs. So where our thoughts to start is like, if anyone wanted to share, like, what's a helpful belief currently? Helpful concept, helpful duality. What's a duality that for you right now is like, this is really helping me out? Anyone? Yeah, jump in. And just jump in, Taryn. Yeah.
Life's not so bad.
Life's not so bad. Good. Yeah, that's okay. You want to feel free to extend and say more if you want.
Like I'm in pain, but there's also happiness around me and inside of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Like a little more spaciousness. Yeah. Not only the pain, but there's also some other things happening around it, and that kind of puts it a little more in kind of like a dynamic kind of living, breathing space, probably. Yeah. Anyone else got a concept, an idea, a duality, something that's helping them right now? Doesn't have to be the most intimate thing. It could be really something. I like when I sit up straight, like that's a concept. Like it feels better. Like I feel better. Like did Buddha need to sit up straight in order to be enlightened? No. Like I mean, but for me, like holding a poised posture, a certain kind of thing, like as a temporary holding, that's a concept. Like that helped me. Okay, relax. Give me anything. What you got? Helpful concept. Warmth. Yeah, right.
Cold outside, so warmth is really nice.
Yeah. Yay. Yeah. Please. Yeah.
I read this thing a couple months ago about how the progress of mankind comes through faith following the Tao and vice versa. And that's been very helpful for me when in states of doubt to fall back to faith and realize that doubt will always come after. But it's kind of like a dialectical relationship.
Yeah.
Where faith follows doubt and doubt, and vice versa.
Yeah. Do you think it'll keep going? Like the dialectic thing will keep rotating?
I think, like, you mean for individuals or
for you and your experience? Maybe that's easier to.
I think it helps me. It helps me accept doubt in my life and recognize that doubt is inevitable and natural. And a way for me to ease or feel better is to fall back onto a faith in a higher or something.
Yeah.
And it helps me not despair into doubt, knowing that like there's a way out of it, and also to accept doubt when it enters my life, that it's a natural part of existence. Yeah. So yes, I
lot.
do think that it is. I think your question was, do I think it's always?
It'll keep happening.
Yeah.
Faith into doubt, and then doubt will lead to some faith,
Yeah.
and then faith will be doubted, and
At least when I reflect on like things in my life, like that's been a consistent pattern.
Yeah.
And so recognizing that pattern, like being conscious of it,
yeah,
I think has been helpful for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's profound. Like to give space and like kind of life to both. You can be like assured about something and not, like, and like to like a little like wiggle room for it to be like open for further investigation, and also like I'm good with this now. Like that seems very reasonable, like, and to me, but, interesting. There's a lot there. Yeah. Helpful concepts. Any other? Feel free. Yeah,
I think
Laurel.
about how, like, I get caught up in hearing about like all the destruction and harm people have been causing each other, and then I think that it's just, if I'm getting stuck on that, it's just I'm not seeing like the bigger picture of regeneration, that it will, that things can heal, and that I mean people can heal, but like on a general level, like even if as humans we destroy each other, that's still just one flash in the pan, like one moment in time, and that I just can't see the bigger circle of it healing itself. And then a lot of times I go into nature and I think, oh, okay, like there's still, like no matter what we do as humans, there's still all these other beings and all these other creatures that are continuing to thrive and exist, that we can't touch it. Like we don't have the power to destroy it. It will continue to heal and regrow or change, and there's just something bigger than the moments of despair that I get stuck in, like when I hear about ICE, or I hear about politics and things, or I witness people being really selfish, whatever it is. It's just that's just one moment, and then the circle is so much bigger, I just can't see it, and that sometimes like the time frame is beyond like my human years. Like I can go in the park and there's a tree that's like 300 years old. Like that, their sense of time is so much different than mine, and so it gives me hope that like time continues, and that like the passage of time allows for things to become back in balance. And so it's just like I just get stuck in like my human small little bleep. And there's really like so much more. You know, there's such a bigger scale of things. Like I try to like step into that and take like refuge in that. Like okay, it's gonna keep going. Like even if we destroyed the planet, like it would still eventually balance out and start over or become something else. I mean, it's not what I want to happen. You know, especially not, you know, but that there is like a bigger timeline that I just like I find peace in that somehow.
Amazing. There's a lot you said. Yeah, belief in a bigger space, belief in a bigger time. Go onto trees, be it in nature, a part of bigger field of things, and also time, the scale, space. I have a like follow-up question on it, if I can. And it goes to like the more like root of samsara. And it's just like a really one of those visceral inquiries. So it all things break apart, like whatever, the pattern decoheres, right? And it gets chaotic or messier or confusing. And then some reassembles and gets bright, gets clear, gets solid, gets structured, gets, you know, together. And the thing is, and then that will decohere and break and dissipate. And then those things will recohere into their things. So the question is like, what do you do with that? So that's a belief. right?
Right.
A belief that things come apart and come together, and they come apart and they come together, and that the Buddhist belief is like, it'll just keep happening. It's just gonna keep happening forever, like no end. So that's a belief, because I don't know what happens a million years from now. I have no clue. It's an idea in my head, you know? But like, so what do you do with that? Because it comes together for a while until it definitely doesn't anymore. And then it disintegrates. And then it, given enough time and space, something else will reintegrate. What do you do with the fact of it's like, if you really look at time and space big enough, like it just keeps doing this thing.
Right. So what is your question?
What do you do with that? Like, because like the world, it'll heal itself. Like the planet, like natural systems in terms of biology, like we can't break it. Humans don't have the power to break that. And so it'll like heal itself. It'll autopoetically heal, or sympathetically it'll heal, like recombine, until it doesn't again. And then it'll break. And then it'll recombine. And then it'll break.
I don't know. I don't see it as like such a distinct togetherness and then separateness. Togetherness. Yeah. I see it as like I think about how mushrooms work, right? So just like your average mushroom, like something dies, right? And then the mushroom spores land on it, and then they feed off of it, and they grow and they become something. And then they become full of nutrients, and then maybe an animal comes and eats it, or maybe they just dissolve. Maybe, you ever see like a mushroom and it just gets to capacity and it just breaks apart, and then the spores go somewhere else, and then the nutrients it's solidified in itself just return, and then the distributing of the nutrients goes back in the soil, and it makes the soil even richer, and then more things happen. Yeah. So it's like things never, it doesn't disappear. Like the thing, I guess that's where like the hope comes from. Like the thing doesn't ever go away. Like there's no away for it to go. Yeah. Like it's still there. It's just not in a maybe a recognizable, I don't know. It's like an essence. It's like always there, right? And then as humans, like we think we're so separate, but we're really not. Like our bodies will die, and our bodies will return into other breakdown, and then I mean, you wouldn't. We could get into where does your spirit go and all that, but it's still there. Like the things are still there. Like the essence of the things are still there, even in the ugliest moment, or even in the moment where like with our eyes we can't see that it's there anymore. It's still there. It doesn't there's nowhere for it. It doesn't go away. There's no away. Yeah. There's no away. Yeah. It's like I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah. Is it the despair of when things look like they're just ending? Is that what you're asking?
I don't know. It's kind of an open question. It's more like kind of seeing, like, hearing being with your response, really.
Yeah, I don't know. It just gives me comfort to know that things continue. Yeah. That things continue, and that there's goodness that we can't destroy because it can't be destroyed. Yeah. Because it's not possible. We're not separate from that goodness. Yeah. Like we're just not. We're just animals too. Yeah. We're not. We're never separate. We feel like it, but we're not really.
They said that like two small things that I've heard from Dzogchen Khenchen Rinpoche. I think he said both of these, and like the Buddha said the first one, and so I have so many masters of Venerable Khenpo Rinpoche. Is like of all the concepts we can have, the best concept is impermanence. Things change. The Buddha really clearly said it, like the size of the elephant's like footprint. It's the biggest one. All other footprints fit in that. Similarly, like of all the concepts we can have, all the habits, all the holding patterns, the best one is impermanence. because it lines up with like how things are working, interdependence, like causes and conditions come together and produce effects. Like it showed that's like kind of one way to describe the impermanent or interactive kind of nature of experience of reality. So that's one point. The second point that Dzogchen Khenpo Rinpoche really said, and I think it was by Buddha Maitreya in Uttara Tantra Shastra, Gyalmo, the actually just mentioning that there is such a thing as a Buddha nature, a continuity, an uninterrupted continuity of intelligence and goodness. Buddhists call it Buddha nature, but Buddha doesn't have anything to do with religion. It's not like a religious idea. It's just like there is this quality, there is this way of being aware, this type of awareness that no matter what happens, it's always on. It is always happening. This awareness, this uninterruptible continuity of awareness, called Buddha nature. You said like this continuing goodness. So Buddhists call it, or Mahayana Buddhists call it, a Buddha nature. That just actually introducing that concept, the merit of literally just even hearing about it and like even like fractionally considering maybe that's actually true. The benefit of that way of framing is so galactically big. Like he's like, the Buddha is like I forget the exact comparison of like if you put merit on a scale and tried to weigh out. But like the idea of impermanence compared to the idea of Buddha nature really wins out. It's so much more positively impactful because it's pointing towards what's not changing. But then on the relative side of the street, you also need to recognize what is changing. And so here we get into this deep Buddhist philosophy, always caring for both of these concepts. Everything is impermanent, interactive, dependently arisen. And what is aware of that? Like, what is aware that everything is impermanent? This ongoing, indestructible intelligence, or this awareness, this heart mind, this Buddha nature. That's what's aware of that. And so constantly holding both. Yeah, cool, Brian.
Where does like action fit into that?
Sweet.
If I think about actions I take in my community,
yeah.
I almost feel like they're to prevent impermanence of some sorts. Maybe not like a universal impermanence. But
yeah.
If I get educated on how to use Narcan to prevent the death, like,
totally.
Like I'm just, or even climate change or something.
Yeah.
You can take comfort that the world will heal itself in 1,000,000 years.
Yeah.
And I have confidence it will. But I believe in action in the present.
Totally.
So how does accepting does that mean that you're not accepting impermanence, or not maybe?
Yeah.
You don't even have that answer, but I'm just curious how action relates to impermanence. Like, I was just supposed to come here today to pick up some gear. I just wanted to sit here and listen to what you had to say. But
that's good.
It's a question I've always had with Buddhism, because I've tried to integrate into it a few times in my life, and I don't always understand how you can take the concept of impermanence and not use it as an excuse to be idle and to not act.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Cool. Super deep. My simple response. Is it a good concept for you? Does impermanence actually help you manifest like creative engagement with like what you're a part of, or not? If it does, it's a good concept for you. If it doesn't, it's not a helpful concept right now. So like, it doesn't have to be always one way or the other. It's really a question of like, is it a whole, like a concept? One way I like to like more think or kind of feel through it is like a holding pattern. Is this rhythm I'm in? Is it like helping? It's like rhythms aren't permanent, right? As you're a musician, right? It's like it's not a forever thing. Like it's always like in the poised configuration of something happening in mid-flight, like, and you're either with it or not, or you can create it or you can, or whatever, like you can be a part of it or not. A holding pattern is just like a temporary way to like be with something, knowing that it's like not gonna stay that way. It's not, the event is gonna end, the life is gonna end, it's just eventually gonna break or dissipate or change or disintegrate or change. But like for Buddhists, like in general, it's like the concept or the holding pattern of impermanence is actually why you want to act now. It's not why you don't want to act. So, but again, it depends on the Buddhist. For some other Buddhists, they'll say it's actually why you don't want to act instead of why you would act. This is really why, kind of to the point of like this topic, Buddhism is not like a dogmatic either or, black, white, like fundamentalist religion. Sometimes impermanence is the way to do it, and sometimes impermanence is not. Like, and it really depends. It really, really depends. So that's my initial response, to just be like, in Buddhism, you use a technique or a method, or that can be an idea. An idea, a set of beliefs, a belief structure, that's a technique. It's not real. It's just a kind of assembled temporary holding pattern. It's just like, really, like, it's just a temporary scaffold that's then it's gonna move, you know? If you build the thing for a bit and you can enjoy it to like have lovely time together, or like serve something that's of like deep value to you, or like cherish and uplift, or like just like rejoice and be fun, like those are all temporary holding patterns that are like actually connected to these deep, beautiful qualities of intelligence and kindness that we have. So like if the impermanence thing like helps, full on. And if it actually helps, if it causes that way of engaging to shut down, it's probably a bad habit, a not helpful concept, and for the time being, in that case, with that being or person or community or whatever it is. That's why doubt too. Doubt, like there's two types of doubt, very kind of big, broad strokes speaking in Buddhist. There's doubt that leads you closer to your nature of like wisdom and compassion. And there's doubt that leads you away from it. And the thing is like to be discerning, what kind of doubt? Is this doubt actually like brightening my intelligences and connections? Or is it dampening it and making it harder to like relax with? This is a big difference. So is impermanence helping me avoid showing up? Why do I have to fix the leaky thing? You know, it's all impermanent, you know? Or is it like actually helping me fix the leaky thing? Because like the thing's gonna only be here for a week, so it'll work well, and so then whoever uses it, like it's gonna be an awesome week as opposed to a crappy week, you know? Like, yeah, Asa, and then we'll circulate. Yeah.
Sort of on the flip side of that.
Yeah, cool.
Can like, if like something like a virtuous concept like impermanence can sometimes not be helpful.
Okay.
Can like non-virtuous concepts, you know, like attachment in some situations be helpful? So like if you are like, you know, I want to take action and help sort of like, you know, maintain health in the planet.
Okay.
You know, in a way you could say like I'm attached to like, you know, a healthy planet, but
yeah.
Like, can attachment in that situation be like a you know, a virtuous concept to kind of like, you know, take action through?
Yeah. I mean, there's like a lot of examples, like you just gave one. I mean, attachment to like anything that's considered like a helpful thing in Buddhism, a certain posture, regular practice, like taking time to slow down, showing up with kindness with someone else, like listening attentively, like not just like doom scrolling forever. Like those are all like, yeah.
So it's not like, because you know the term like non-attachment.
Yeah.
See everywhere.
I know you do.
But
I do too.
But it's like there are some situations in which, or is it just like, you know, okay, attachment on the relative level, like I'm attached to, these things that are good, but then ultimately also holding like an ultimate non-attachment to like I'm not attached to like I'm gonna keep fighting for climate, like to prevent climate change.
Yeah.
But on a more deeper level, I'm not attached to the outcome because like that's just gonna create more suffering.
It's always this both. It's always a both and with this for Buddhists, and then we'll really come to you. Like, have to honor the impermanent part. It's dependently arisen. It's basically things keep moving and interacting. It's dynamic. And the absolute side or the ultimate side, like what is the space, the field, like this like boundless experience or awareness or that it's all happening within, that it's happening too. Like if we don't care for both sides of this, we go to an extreme. So like it's either going to be in Buddhist terms nihilism or eternalism. The nihilism is like I don't have to show up for any of the relational stuff because in the end it's all about mind. Then the eternalist stuff is like it's all about the permanent, unchanging soul, essence, goodness, true nature, absolute truth. So like no, here it is. Some people get so kind of like nitpicky about the details. Like you have to show up exactly in the right virtuous way. And they get so strong and heavy-handed on like the actual stuff of a path that they forget the larger forest that they're in, like which is like actual freedom from being stuck in anything. But sometimes you need to temporarily really hold the things you're a part of in order to see their spacious, open, boundless nature. It's both. It's really a both. So like in any time we like, or we're too heavy-handed on like the particulars, or we're too spacey, like it's all open, free flow, absolute, isness. Those are both going to be like, that's basically the path. We're like ping-ponging between our habits that prefer either or until we actually see neither of those options really help us. Like we need to actually be like more kind of have a light touch with like, be with the relational side because it's open. It's like boundlessly open and intelligent. And the open intelligence always shows up relationally. Like it actually is like, in the end they say they're not two, or there is a union there. Like they're actually like, they say two aspects of one nature, or those are all just pointers, right? Concepts. But I mean, to your point of non-grasping or like non-attachment, and attachment, like there's a lot of good attachments on a path.
Yeah.
It's called good habit. In the end, meaning further on the maturing process of one's own heart mind from being open and natural with itself, they'll end up later be things we also need to release. But that's why a path is always so intimately emphasizing timing. We need to know what's helpful now and what's not helpful now. Like it's nice to read like stories of like the great bodhisattvas and like further along on the path, they had to give that thing up. And like then to be like, but that's when they're like way further along than I am. So right now I need to give this and emphasize that. But it's helpful to like know some of the trajectory, like how kind of the field is like much further on. But to be really practical and grounded about like, in my immediate body and mind, like what's actually do I need to care for?
Yeah, and it's
right now.
It's a lot. I find myself like looking for sort of that like fundamentalist like golden rule, always follow this way,
right?
But it sounds like that's not really responsive to what's happening right now. That's sort of like dogmatic.
It is.
Can I say?
Yeah, cool.
It's like when you asked about like action and. So like for me, like the consciousness that I see throughout everything that gives me the kind of the relief that like, okay, if things get bad, there's still this consciousness, is the same consciousness that I enact when I do the right action. It's like if I learn to use Narcan, if I help someone cross the street, if I stop when someone falls on the ground to help them, if I say an encouraging word, whatever the right action is, like in my heart, that's the same consciousness as the trees and the mushroom and the universe continuing. It's all, so to like withhold that action feels very disruptive to the whole pattern of things decaying and then regenerating. Does that, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like it's not like a refuge from, it's not an excuse to be passive about things. It's very much a recognition that it's impossible to stop the like, what I see is like the divine goodness of things, and that when I reaching out towards other people just reinforces the connections between us, because there's no real, like, there are, I mean, I don't know, I guess it depends like how much a person feels separate from other people, but like we really are all like one and related, and so that they're it's almost like a flip the coin and be like, we are the same, therefore I should help somebody if they're ODing, or like I should help someone if they fall on the street, or I should check in on my neighbor, or I should, I want to do those things because we are all part of that same cycle. So I don't know, I personally don't go to that place of like just passivity. Like it still very much matters, and it's very much important to like exchange that goodness and that energy with other people and in society and in the world and in caring about the planet and all of that.
Sure, I think maybe one thing I didn't voice too, but I think it was Asa, I think was your name.
Yes,
but,
yes.
And I think you touched on a little bit more, was maybe like root motivation for some actions, Narcan is maybe not quite, maybe I used the wrong example, because to me that is an act of love for a neighbor that I may not know. Sometimes I think about my motivations are for positive change, maybe are almost rooted in like attachment to my children or something.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to prevent suffering for them, the world that they're gonna grow up in, and again, and then in my lack of study, but just like what I take in through the ambient atmosphere of hearing about Buddhism, it feels counter to the practice to have that attachment as your motivation to take action, and it feels very counter to accepting impermanence. But listening to the discussion, I've heard a lot of nuance that I find very helpful. That there are moments when impermanence is helpful and moments when it's not. And even just in the last month of my life, like I lost my mother-in-law. There's ways in which accepting impermanence has been helpful. I hear the nuance in the discussion. So.
Yeah. And it also seems like, at least like, these aren't heady things. Like, it's like,
I'm sorry, you said they are?
They are not. Like, it's not trying to have discernment so we can like have a refined conversation. It's like, and it's important to like have that refined conversation, because like that's like a dying thing. I mean, like, to actually be able to be with each other for an extended period of time and just do like long format beingness, like, and let the creative thing kind of like have time. But this is like really practical. It's like, what is the habit that really is this helping me in my life with my kids, or with my, like how I am with a neighbor, or with my body right now, or like in this moment of an hour? Like, is it actually helping it or not? Like, it's like really practical application. It's not just so then like I've, sharpened my Buddhist analytical sword or something. It's like actually like in the end, it's like how we like, that's one layer of reality that we always have to care for as well. Like there can be a habit that I would have, or some Buddhists might have, of like really preferring to only play with certain layers of reality. Like the really refined layers are the really special ones, or like the subplot is like the really where it's at, or the super literal obvious thing is like where I'm gonna focus. Like these are all kind of layers. And like part of the experience of cause, condition, and effect is trying to like, no, we don't, it's not so helpful to like just only have a preferred zone where like I'm cool to only play in this one little corner of reality. It's okay to get good at one corner of reality, like get good at the little Buddhist corner of reality, or get good at the human corner of reality, or the in New York City corner of reality, but it's like temporary holding pattern. Get good at doing this part of it. But it's like, and that's where the duality thing, like it extends to, it's like where it gets a little more into Tantra or Tantra Mahayana, where it's like you kind of like basically, how's it put? Like how is the topic of this, like my whatever wording of this is like, use duality to go beyond duality in order to include all duality. The third one is the Tantra one. So you use duality skillfully, that's like helpful concept, helpful framing, helpful map. To go beyond duality, like it's about wisdom, it's about beingness, it's about being in touch, like in the ongoing lived experience of it, like the wisdom part, wisdom of like actually free flow happening. But it's not just so you can hang out in your zone of like, this feels nice, good wisdom pocket. It's actually so you can be that free flowing with like every other way that duality actually circulates. All the fields and zones and corners of reality. Like in the end, that's like, it's the tired ones, it's the boring ones, it's the achy ones, it's the ecstatic ones, it's like surprising ones, it's the ones that we're dreaming, it's the ones that haven't thought of at all, it's the ones happening in the dirt underneath the carpet with the microbe. Like there's just so many little pockets of reality that are like mostly off the map of my awareness, like by far mostly. But for the Tantra part is like, why is it even important to like get good to know about duality at all? Because like that's all a concept, and it's like, because beings that we care about, like me and my friends and close ones and family and strangers and the ones I have aggression with, or like a little more tension, and we're all just playing in little zones of duality, framing boxes. Like and it's like the actual like aching heart of like love and compassion is like, how do I show up with you and you and you and me, and like in a way that actually helps? Which means like I gotta really get in touch with like your thing, and I gotta get in touch with my thing, and like where does it sync up and where does it not? Like that's all like duality zone with duality zone, and like where does it actually meet? So there's like, it can actually be like helpful, skillful. So in terms of Tibetan Buddhism, like, or Tantra Mahayana, that's where all the skillful thing is, to discern like where is the resonant like spot here and now, and then to be willing, oh, it's in this mode I'm not familiar with, okay, I'm going to learn more about that mode. Or it's in this way of being in a body I'm not familiar with, okay, I'll put some time into learning that too. So in the end, meaning in the very, very, very long space-time run of aspiring bodhisattvas, like we have to, everything is on the table to learn about. Like literally, like Shantideva and the Way of the Bodhisattvas, like every single thing is something that's worthy of someone who actually cares about beings to put time and attention into, to like learn how to do it better. Driving a car, learning Swahili, like all of it, all the pattern dualistic ways of framing, they're all interesting for people who really care about others. And then it's just a question of timing. You can't learn every language at the same time. Like you can't learn about what's happening in every city. You can't be in every spot. Like, so then that's a question of like, okay, what are the spots that I'm in now? How do I show up for those better? And then with like kind of this aspirational wish to extend and like kind of creatively like learn more and like kind of have the feelers out to like show up with curiosity with these other ways of being or alternate ways of being to my normal. So it's like, in the end, it includes all the duality. It doesn't leave it all behind as like, that's all just samsara. I don't want to have anything to do with that. That's just what like ignorant beings get involved in. Like that's never a bodhisattva view. Like that breaks like a bodhisattva view, like a vow. Like those who are courageous and care for all the beings of reality. They say that's the great master Shantideva said in Way of the Bodhisattva, which we're just in this Mipam Institute going through this Way of the Bodhisattva. It's like this classic Indian Buddhist book. And like all we're doing is like reading it line by line, having it translated and like kind of contemplating a little. It's like so powerful. If you ever have any time to read Way of the Bodhisattva by Shantideva, it's so amazing. Like they just take a little time. It's all these 4-line stanzas. It's like so exquisite. But recently something that stuck out for me is like, of all the concepts, this is so amazing. The Buddha offered things like this. The Buddha in the Shantideva said, a moment of anger against like someone who's like a bodhisattva, who's like courageous for the enlightenment of all beings. A moment of anger towards such a being, like you're going to actually try to prevent like such a being who's like constantly trying to serve all beings. You're like, why are you, that anger, the power of that moment can like burn like the virtuous like goodness qualities that you've done for like so long. Because the strength of like trying to block something that's like so resonantly, boundlessly good is like trying to traffic jam like of this really amazing kind of circulating energy of goodness. So the point that was really outstanding to me is like, but you can, if you do a certain activity and then you dedicate it in a certain way, that can't be burned. Like that can't be ruined. They say it's like putting a drop of water into an ocean. Like until the ocean like totally dissolves, like that virtue, that merit won't be able to be ruined. So this is a very strong point or concept. Like literally, they say to begin with the concept of like, for every single being, I want all of them to become enlightened. And in order to make that happen, I will become fully enlightened. So these are 3 powerful kind of beliefs that are like, this makes this like, for all beings, for them to be free of all of suffering and causes of suffering, I need to be fully awake. Like my potential needs to be fully on and manifest to know how to actually helpfully do that. So I will become fully enlightened so that I can show up with perfect precision for each being until all the beings are free of all suffering. That's a concept, right? They said that aspiration, basically may all beings be free of suffering. And all like become like, I want to become able to do that, like help make that happen. That concept, if you generate that motivation, like a root level motivation, and then you do an activity, and then at the end you say, oh, may this benefit, any benefit that happened from this, may it go to that purpose for every being to be free of suffering. That becomes like whatever that field of virtue or merit was, that will last until every single being becomes enlightened. Like it'll just keep generating more and more and more positive connections. So that's all concepts there, right? I'm just saying a bunch of metaphysical beliefs. But Shantideva said that way of framing of aspiring with bodhicitta, it's called bodhicitta. This is like the actual like non-fundamentalist meta-heuristic. That's like technical jargon to say like, it's not fundamentalist, but it's this way of being in any context that always is shaped by the context. So it's not fundamentalist. Like, how do I show up best for you? Well, I have to tune into you, and then my shaping is going to match what is this helpful thing, like the medicine for that specific thing. So it's not fundamentalist. I'm not just shoving an agenda, you know? It like actually shape shifts according to what is helpful in a situation. But then as the situation changes, it changes its shape. So, but it's oriented towards like win-win. Your enlightenment, my enlightenment, his enlightenment, her enlightenment, all enlightenment. And it's constantly trying to shape shift in whatever the skillful like shape, size, form is for that given moment. That's like called bodhicitta. That's like what bodhisattvas are trying to turn on and keep on as like their living experience all the time, called heart, mind of enlightenment for those courageous for the enlightenment of all beings. And first, to conceptually have some kind of an idea of what that might be like. That's what all this study is oriented around, that. Like, what is bodhicitta, the heart, mind of enlightenment? That's the Buddhists call it Buddha nature. First, we aspire to like be in the way of our Buddha nature fully on. Then we get tastes of actually being in it. And then we extend those like periods for longer periods of time until it never turns off again. And that's just called enlightenment. Like our Buddha nature is constantly like not blocked. Just natural, be natural. And those such beings are just always natural. But that's a big, big concept. I've never heard like it's yeah, that such things, like it's really, from a science perspective, if any of that is true, that's an if, you know, because you got to test it. You got to like, look, if any of that's true, it's like amazing, like to come across like some kind of a thing that would like only be positively beneficial. Like in all cases, it would be like healing, nutritious, uplifting, connective, like that, such a thing as bodhicitta, like if that exists, if it can be lived, if like we can turn it on in a moment. Like they say that also, the Buddha said in that same Shantideva, the way of the Bodhisattva, all these enlightened beings searched throughout endless, boundless space, like way bigger than the Webb telescope, like ongoing galaxies of galaxies of galaxies of galaxies of planets and beings and world systems and all this stuff. And they tried to find something that was better than bodhicitta, and they couldn't. Like they're like, this is the best thing. The enlightened beings are like, this is the best thing we found throughout the entire endless universe we've surveyed. Like this way of being is like, it's like the best thing we found, like to support and care for all beings. Like this is it. Like, and it was just like, wow, if such a thing is true, which is an if, like a Buddhist is always like, come and see for yourself encouragement. It's like a pasiko, like come and try it out for yourself. It's never just believe hard, you know. Temporarily believe it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, retrofit that or just give it up. Find something that works. Like, but that would be very hard to like search and figure something like that out on one's own.
I mean, they have done studies where like people group meditate to reduce crime in a certain area, and then it works. So like that's a real thing.
Interesting.
It's a real. I don't know. I could try and find it, but like they do things where people meditate on peace and they direct it to a specific area, and then they monitor crime statistics and they do go down. I mean,
Yay.
I'll find it for you.
I'm down.
You want to see it.
I mean, I'd be curious to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can do that like simply. Like, generate. It's like literally, it's very simple. Like generate the so-called motivation, or it's called a view, or the belief structure, but it's more of like a lived view. Like it's like actually how I am with this. Like generate the view or the motivation, turn it on. Like by doing this activity, I want all beings to be free of suffering, and I'll become enlightened to do that. And so the activity is like picking up this book. And then I really want that action to like help free every being from suffering. Like in the Buddhist view, that becomes like like a crazy incredible amount of merit. Like it's almost entirely a function of the view. Like the activity is like literally picking up a book. But like that's a simple thing. It's like constantly coming back to our view, how I'm holding this, conceptually holding it, so I can relax and just be that way. Like it so much is much more about the view than what is the literal obvious thing I'm doing.
The
like
intention? Is
the
that
intention,
yeah.
the motivation, the view. And that's like so, I mean, in the longer span of time and space, like thinking many future generations down, like most of it is defined by the motivation held by the beings doing stuff in the past. It's not the stuff they actually did. It's the view or the belief structure they were holding as they did it. Because the power of the mind, like just to your point, it's the power of the mind that's like the main quality that determines like cause, condition, and effect. What's the flavor of the mind? And then simply put, love, compassion, and wisdom. In Buddhism, it's like it can be said very simply or like really refined. Love means I want you to be happy. What can I do to help your happiness? Compassion is like I don't want you to suffer. What can I do to like help reduce your suffering? And wisdom is like knowing what does that. Like what helps boost someone's happiness according to what actually helps. What helps reduce someone's suffering? And that's called wisdom. You know cause, condition, and effect. And then you actually do it. You perform it. You're like, you are it. Like that's called bodhicitta, like love, compassion, and wisdom. But literally, for like the artists in the room, for the moms and dads, and for the like also just people that care about anything, we're all multiple roles. Like if we generate a view, like try to really generate this view of like love and compassion and wisdom and just turn it on. Like just every now and then during a day, like be like, I really wish all beings are free of suffering, including this one I'm with right now. Like I want all beings to be free of suffering. I'm doing this for this purpose. And at the end, when we conclude it, be like, I really want that to like be a root condition, like perfect condition for every single being to be free of suffering. If we just do that like a little bit during a day, we try to get good at just remember to come back, like set alarms to like be like, turn on bodhicitta, turn on love, compassion, wisdom. It has such a big impact. It'll make like, basically you'll become like an avenue of enlightenment for the beings you're around. Like you play your instrument by strumming this, by doing this. Like I want anyone who hears this, like they recognize their Buddha nature in a very soon. And then you play. And then you like at the end, like that's like total spiritual practice. Like in terms of like from the Buddhist perspective.
Well, and what about in moments of and when it just feels like forcing it, like I feel like I'm paying lip service to like bodhicitta, or if I'm like, you know, say I'm like reading something online and it's really bothering me and it's about someone and that thought comes to mind, but it's almost just feels like a, you know, like a dutiful kind of thing where like, oh, I should wish Donald Trump, you know, the best, whatever. Like in moments where I really don't feel it, is that still beneficial, or is that like I'm not connecting deeply, genuinely enough to, you know, these qualities, and so it's kind of like without that deep connection, it doesn't have like a benefit?
No, it's definitely still beneficial. It's just like less beneficial, but it's like helpful concept. There is a whole thing, fake it till you make it. If the standard is I have to be 100% authentic every moment or I'm not going to do it, like we won't do anything. There's like a ton of faking it all the time. Because like it's like when the mood strikes, like sometimes it's on and mostly it's not, you know? Like it's like we need to like do the, like it's all nundra, right? That's called preparation. You have to prepare the table for like to have the awesome dinner. Like you have to prepare the scene so when people come into it, or like when people come, like everyone's like, whoa, this is chill. Like, I can relax. Like, I'm interested in this. And it's because it was kind of prepped. And it's not just a human coming and organizing. It's like, that's what nature's doing all the time. It's actually balancing stuff. But when you don't, like, for sure, like, there's times where it's super dry and basically dead inside. It's like 1% on. Like, compared to what? Like, if it's compared to 0, like, just like, this sucks. I'm not going to do it. And I'm just going to, like, do this other thing. Okay, like, take a nap, you know, like, take a walk. Do something that, like, you know is a good habit for you to, like, stimulate some other creative intelligence or kind of, like, outlet, or, like, do a nice thing, or, you know, and it kind of, it tends to, like, reinvigorate. But there's a lot of parts on the path, like, where it's just, like, more of dry spell. It's not exactly, you're not, like, vibing with it or feeling it, but it's like, that's part of, like, that's a big part of life. I'm not a parent, but, like, I'm sure there's a lot of moments. My twin brother recently had a kid. He's like 5 minutes in. It's like, he's super exhausted and super in love and, like, he's like in the little mini baby mode. And it's like, there's, like, I'm sure times for him, and he's, like, super new at it, where it's just like, he's not going to be feeling it. And there's times where he's really going to be feeling it. And there's times where he's going to not even be like, what day is this? Like, I have no clue, you know? And that's just called life. Like, sometimes the relationship is, like, not really sparking, and sometimes it is, and sometimes we need to, like, okay, what can I spark this, or what am I doing that's just stupid? I need to just, like, stop doing that. It's not helpful, you know? That's path stuff. That's, like, being a good human being, like, that's trying the best, and, like, try again, you know? I don't know, the whole thing of Buddhists, like, having to, like, really feel it and, like, the authentic thing, I think for me, it tends to be much more on the side of, like, it's either wisdom on or nothing. I'm wisdom or bust. And usually it's a bust. The people that always have to be like, it's like the perfect sit now, you know, or else I don't sit. Like, they never sit. That's just, they don't, that's too bad. You can have some crappy sessions, but so Guru Rinpoche always, and then we can break, or just, like, pause and kind of release in a way. The short moments, many times, especially at the beginning, and the beginning is long. High quality moments, really high quality present moments. That can be high quality 4 seconds. Like, really try to turn on a fresh, engaged experience with, like, a really genuinely good motivation. Like, have it brightly, freshly be on. And then just relax. And don't try to make it on. Don't try to do a thing. Just, like, turn it on and then just relax. Like, really deep body, like, just relax and, like, let it all go. That's the absolute side. And just do that for 10 seconds. And then just, like, throughout the day or over time, just, like, take 10 seconds here and there and, like, have a really fresh, high quality presence. And then relax. And then keep doing your thing, you know? Like, that is much better way to practice, especially for nowadays, than just doing some 2-hour dry sit. And I did my repetitions and, you know, and there's some days where you just need to do your 2-hour dry. Like, I'm not feeling it, but, like, this is actually how we learn stuff, you know? It's like any initiatory apprenticeship is like, you also just have to bust it. I mean, like, you didn't want to come on Wednesday, but, like, that's part of the deal, you know? It's Wednesday. That's just life. It's a life thing. So it's very practical. But high quality present moments, and then they'll naturally kind of extend themselves. So short moments many times, especially for nowadays when this thing is, like, really a killer. I see it every time I come to New York. I'm like, now I have a 2-minute break or 2-month thing, and, like, last time I was, like, 3 months away. This is really eating away the creative potential of so many people. Like, they can't even stop to, like, be with their breath for a minute. It's just it feels too weird to not be like, I can't go. It's weird. It's, like, really to not be, like, hyper tensed. Like, it's like, it feels like it would, but, like, that's short moments of many time. Like, how healing it is to, like, actually just stop and just, like, take a few breaths and just don't move. There's, like, the amazing like curative power of just being in present with life when it's so like hyper self-disposing now is like really powerful medicine. Take a minute to just stop. Like it's actually really healing. And it's actually what we've been designed to do. And I'm not a Luddite. Like I have all this tech. There's a lot of tech. This is tech. Like this is tech. Like it's all tech, you know? But yeah, this is really, I don't know.
It's disembodied.
Healthy habits, like with your own, it's definitely, it's very powerful. And like it takes a lot of discernment to use that level of power, like both for ourselves and for what people we care about. And it's like, that's the whole thing with Buddhist anything. Like it's just not like a conversion project where you like take your favorite thing and shove it down everyone's throat. Like that's not what Buddhism is. It's like we have to like not drown ourselves and like find our talent, like lovely ways of being, and like care for them and like get them more honed. And like if people sync up with that, they do. And if situations align, like if and we can resonantly co-create some cool stuff together, it'll happen. It happens. But like we can't force it. Like there's not that whole like take my concept, make you believe it thing. Like my healthy concept, my helpful thing, and like make you have to do it too. Like that fundamentalist thing is like really, it's just sad. It's sad how like attractive it is to like want to have certainty, and so I'm gonna like paste my thing everywhere. Like it's a kind of a sad thing of like I'm scared of the world, so everything has to be exactly the way I want it. It's like a sad thing, and it's also very alluring. But yeah, I don't know. May I and all beings come out of that fundamentalist fear of like if I don't lock up now, like what will it be to be like relaxed? It's so scary, you know? So we just like relax for 1 minute and then we'll dedicate and just enjoy the relax. So now just big aspiration, have love, have compassion, have your intelligence turn on. Like any benefit that just came from our shared time together, like really just like with like really heartfelt kind of connection, like be like, may this really become like a perfect support for every single being to be free of suffering and the cause of suffering. And just boldly generate that. Oh, this big love. May what we did together be just a perfect support for every single being to be free of suffering. And then the technical 4-line way that Buddhists often say that is, by this merit, may all obtain omniscience. May it defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. From the ocean of samsara, may I free all beings. All right, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, friends. Great. So for anyone who wants, feel free, hang out. We'll get some food and chill in here. It's warm in here. And then there's a second session. Again, just open invitation. It'll start from 2 to 4, and that'll be much more of this meditation practice on this Queen of Great Bliss, this enlightened female Buddhas, and we have this that we'll together. If you want to come back for that 2 to 4, it's nice if you have any kind of a food offering, even just a bag of chips or something. Usually we'll have a little, at least even a very simple kind of food offering, and then that'll be part of the session. It can be even a cup of coffee. Something fresh for that purpose. But again, so anyone who wants to, that'll be 2 to 4. Cool. Thank you all.
Is it okay to put the sadness on the cushion?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, friend.